Y'all tell Mama and Larry congratulations. Oh,
Hey, I know we're not supposed to get to this, but I want to tell all these people I feel sorry for you guys. This gang banging while we talking about a man's life. This is a grown man, a senior citizen. It's not no kids in here. And if you can't move past that point in life where you still gang banging, you may possibly die in the streets or go to jail.
Peace, this is King Messiah. First things first, I need you to hit that subscribe button. We're building this community, and your support is greatly appreciated. Today, we're talking about President Donald J. Trump. He has commuted the sentence of Larry Hoover, okay? Let's get into the video. You're going to listen to the family of Larry Hoover speak, and I'm going to chime in at the end of the video. Let's talk about it.
I love everybody.
yeah, I just saw that pop up too. Shit
Yeah, hey, I got family that's GDs, BDs, Vice Lord, Stone, all that. It's all love around here. So say that for another platform.
Or we could just block them and keep going.
Yeah, we can keep going. I just want them to know how I feel about it. They wasting their time.
So you guys, we jumped on here because we wanted to talk to you guys about something super important, right? And we thought this was probably the easiest way to do it. But right now, so you guys understand, because I think there's a lot of confusion and Larry's going to clear it. Hi, Sam. We're going to clear this up real quick. So how this works, Larry, explain to them how Trump has freed him from the Fed, but what's going on with the state.
Okay. Trump has freed my father from federal custody. But as I told people plenty times before, it's been a dual jurisdiction. So now the state has the opportunity to go get him. And what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to reach out to Governor Pritzker to let him know that my father would be a blessing to this city. And he could also leave the city if he needs him to leave. But we dealing with Pritzker, and he can go into state custody. And all he has to do is strike his pen and say that we don't need this geriatric old man. He served his time. Like he's not worried about leading any type of gang organization or running the streets. If he does anything for the streets, it would be telling the YNs that you're gonna live the life that he lived if you don't change your life. He would be an asset and a blessing to this community. All the people that stuck on some other stuff, like your understanding is just kind of weak. Your understanding of life, your understanding of manhood, your understanding of being a woman. We not with that. We all about peace and love. And we need Pritzker to understand that he will be a blessing to this community, and we want him to give this man a second chance. Pritzker believes in redemption and believe that he should be redeemed. Everybody else in this situation has been able to have redemption and have a second chance in life. And I would love to actually be able to hold my father. I'm close, but I'm not all the way there yet. I know it don't sound right, but I want to hug and kiss a man. My kids want to hug and kiss their grandfather. My mother wants to hug and kiss her husband. Like, it's a whole family out here. This is a man in a man's life. This has nothing to do with any nonsense. We need for everybody to let Pritzker know that Larry Hoover will be a blessing to this community, an asset, no type of threats. If anything, it may be even more peaceful.
Please, nobody go back and forth with him. We are celebrating today. We are not trying to be in on none of that garbage or whatever it is. But so here's what we need from you guys, right? We would love for you to take a photo of Senior, any picture that you guys want off Larry's page or Mama's page. I will, Larry's got enough pictures on there. If you guys can post it and write something positive underneath the photo and then tag the governor and hashtag free Larry Hoover, right? Because it's like super important that now that he's released from the feds, we have to release him from. Well, people know that you're on live and then they just keep calling your phone. Like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, you got people saying.
Yeah. So that is what we need done now, to be honest with you. We need everybody to grab a photo, tag the governor, and everything else. He is released from the feds. President Trump did an unbelievable thing for us today, but now we need to release him from the state. And you guys are free to ask any questions you guys want. You guys are free to, and it is, listen, I know some of you guys are writing like shaking my head.
Our lead prosecutor in Larry Hoover's federal case reacting this afternoon with disappointment, telling us there are just some offenders and crimes that are not deserving of clemency, and Hoover falls in that category. But this afternoon, President Trump disagreeing, commuting Hoover's 6 life sentences on federal convictions to time served. Hoover still faces, however, a 200-year state sentence on a 1973 murder conviction, so it appears he won't be getting out of prison, at least in the near term. It was while behind bars serving time for that murder that federal prosecutors say he continued overseeing the Chicago Gangster Disciples, a gang that he co-founded. And in 1997, he was convicted of running a criminal enterprise. But Hoover's attorney says over the years, Hoover has been rehabilitated and written numerous letters talking about his experience, how he turned to crime, and the good he can do in steering young people away from a similar fate.
He is being held because he is a symbol, not because he needs further incarceration or he hasn't been rehabilitated. He's been a model prisoner for many, many years. He's been examined. He has been determined to be no risk.
If Larry Hoover said there was going to be a killing, there was a killing. If Larry Hoover said there was going to be a beating, there was a beating. If Larry Hoover said there was going to be a drug deal, there was a drug deal.
Hoover's case has drawn the attention of a number of advocates and public figures, including Chance the Rapper and Kanye West. Hoover is currently serving time in Colorado, but with that state sentence, he'll likely be moved at some point to a prison in Illinois.
But, you know, the Creator opened the gates up and allowed him to be free. And the beautiful thing about him is he don't take his freedom for granted. You know what I mean? He free, and he ain't forgot where he came from. You know what I mean? That's my brother, Larry Hoover, spoke about that sleeping giant. You know, when me and him was kicking it on the intro of the Ghetto Boys, when he say they scared of him because he know how to awaken that sleeping giant. And that was a powerful thing that was being said, and that's what we looking forward, you know, to the day and his freedom, so we can awaken the sleeping giant and so many that sleep and that won't listen to those that they don't respect. You know, I look forward to the day of being able to share that journey, share that walk, share that creativity with my brother on how to free a lot of our people out of bondage. And every politician that's for that, we're gonna be with them too. You know what I mean? The real ones that's really for our people, then that's who's gonna get my vote. You know what I mean? The real politicians that's for our people. I don't discriminate.
Well, he's a leader that needs to be free right now, that can really lead us in this struggle we're dealing with right now. Definitely where Chicago is concerned, but you know, I consider him a political prisoner as well. You know what I mean? He someone who they want us to forget about. You know, they put you behind the walls that he behind. They want us to forget about him, but here's the good news where he's concerned, and what I really believe. I believe he'll be home real soon.
So who is Larry Hoover? Larry Hoover was the founder of the Gangster Disciples, which was a street community gang, originally was created to empower the black community and created to protect the black community. But of course, like all of the gangs in America, they turned negative and it turned into just, black on black crime and territorial crime, right? So Larry Hoover was sentenced to hundreds of years. I think it's interesting that Trump decided to commute his sentence and not pardon him. A pardon, he would have been like exonerated of all the crimes and so forth. But to commute his sentence, it simply means that, hey, time served, and that's federally. You would think the federal government will have enough influence over the state, but no, the state is still holding on to Larry Hoover, and they're still fighting to get Larry Hoover out, right? I think it's interesting that Larry Hoover his sentence was commuted by President Donald Trump and not Barack Obama, who is from Chicago. You would have thought Barack Obama would have been the one to pardon him because he's from Chicago and he knows the influence and the power of releasing Larry Hoover could have with the youth. I mean, Larry Hoover could definitely reduce the crime rate. He can increase the crime rate, but at this geriatric age, everybody is saying that he's going to come out and promote peace. He's already denounced the gang. He's put down the flag, and it can really change a lot of people's lives if he comes out and he starts promoting peace and he starts promoting, non-gang activity to the community, right? So, I think it's interesting that the state is still trying to hold on and they are not trying to release Larry Hoover. I think Jay Prince probably should kind of hold off from speaking publicly because, saying that they're going to awaken a sleeping giant, this scares the powers that be. This scares the state. And I think Jay Prince, who's kind of good associates and good friends with Larry Hoover, he should kind of refrain from those comments just because the state is terrified on Larry Hoover's intentions when he comes out. If he ever is released, they just don't know. But this is King Messiah. I want to know, what is your take on it? Do you think President Donald Trump did a good job at commuting his sentence, or do you think he should spend the rest of his life in jail for the crimes that he committed in 1997? Larry Hoover, the founder of the Gangster Disciples gang. All right, this is King Messiah. I need you to hit the subscribe and make sure you hit the bell so you can be notified when we drop the next video. Much love. Peace.